My name is Mark Santry, and this is my all-in story in regards to our all-in campaign. It all started with attending a service, one of the services in regards to, we were talking about the campaign, and I can just remember Tim just asking each of us to pray, and within that prayer, just be willing to do whatever God asks you to do, and but just understand that just ask Him and leave it in His hands, and just let Him lead you in what direction that meant for you. And so I was sitting after service one day, and I was praying about that, and I was asking God, because my wife and myself had already talked about what we were going to do, and I just felt like I needed to do more. But I didn't know how. I didn't know exactly how I was going to get that accomplished. So I was asking God. I just asked Him, God, Lord, just give me some insight, give me some thought. How can I do that? I want to do more, but how do I do it? And it was instantaneous. I just felt like God immediately, He gave me the answer. But it wasn't the answer I wanted to hear. It was a situation where what He asked me to do, and I'm quite embarrassed about it, about my response and the way I acted. But pretty much just kind of said to me, Mark, sell your Jeep. And when I first got that response, I was like, no, that can't be right. God, there's no way God asked me to sell my Jeep. Jeep just meant too much to me. It was a pretty important part of my life, I guess. At least I thought. But I just kind of thought, man, why would God ask me to sell my Jeep? That can't be right. I couldn't have heard that right. That can't be what He's asking me to do. And as I kept processing it and thinking about it, eventually I came to a realization that it was bigger than just selling my Jeep. What God was telling me to do was He didn't need the Jeep, and the campaign didn't need the Jeep, but He knew that I didn't need the Jeep. And so it got deeper than just the question about what I was willing to give up for the church and for the campaign and things like that, but it was more about, Mark, what are you willing to do, and what are you thinking about this object here? Are you cherishing that more than me? Where's your love for me? And I mean, it hit home with me immediately, and didn't take me long after that to realize that, Mark, that's what you need to do, and that was the right thing. And once I came to that realization, it was very easy. It was an easy decision at that time to do it. One thing that was a little bit tough about it, I wanted to sell it in March. I'd made the decision, okay, I'll sell it in March and do that, and then COVID hit. And so then there were some more delays that came about and gave me a lot more time to think about it and think about, is that really the right thing to do? And is that what God wanted me to do? Did I hear that right? But I continued down the path and stayed straight with that. And this summer finally got to a point where everything was back on track, and I thought, okay, this is a good time to sell it, and market's right, and let me see what I can do. So I posted it on Facebook, and it was amazing. It's amazing the way God works. I posted it on Facebook, and within an hour's time, I had like 40 people wanting to buy the Jeep and wanting to buy it for the price that I'd listed it for, which was amazing. It was crazy. And the first person that wanted to buy it, they responded to me on it. I responded back, and the next day I'd set up an appointment with him to meet him. And we met him at the Quick Trip just down the street from the church. And when I met him that morning, we're going over the Jeep, and he starts asking me questions about it and this and that. And it came to be that we drove the Jeep back over to Grace Church to do a little test drive in the back parking lot. So that's where he got to actually drive the Jeep for the first time. And he's driving it, and he's asking me all the questions about it and saying, man, this thing is great. It's unbelievable. And he says, why are you selling it? He said, can I ask you that? Why are you selling it? And when I told him what the reasoning was behind it, he was amazed. I could tell it. I could tell it really hit him as well. And the reason being is that at that time, him and his family were looking for a church to attend. They didn't have a church. And it gave me a chance to talk to him about my faith and my walk with Christ and where I was at. And then it kind of led to where he kind of decided that maybe Grace is the place for him. And I've been following up with him, and he loves the Jeep. And a couple of other things that I've left out, but there was some stuff that happened during this process too, when my neighbors first found out when I was out trying to post the vehicle and stuff like that. And this is kind of an amazing statement about God and about how Satan works as well, and how Satan tries to weave his way into the things that we do. I told a lot of my neighbors what I was doing. I was fixing to sell my Jeep, and just about every one of them was looking at me and going like, "Why would you do that? Are you kidding? You love that Jeep. Why would you sell the Jeep?" Well, the story's got even better. When I told them why I was selling it, you can only imagine. Most of my neighbors and friends and stuff all looked at me and were just like, "Mark, you didn't hear that right. That's crazy. You don't need to sell the Jeep. That's not what God's asking you to do." It just made me realize that that was Satan. That was Satan trying to get in the way of what God was trying to get accomplished in my life. And I pushed that aside and said, I'm continuing on down this path. And I sold the Jeep. And the young man, him and his family, I don't think they're at Grace yet, but we're still in communication, talking to him, and he loves it. He's having a great time. And I've talked to different neighbors and friends after that and wondered if I'd really missed the Jeep or not. And to be honest with you, I haven't missed it at all. In fact, the feeling I got from doing that and just listening to God and just listening to what he was asking me to do, and honestly just going ahead and doing exactly what he was asking me to do and going down the direction, the path he wanted. It's just an amazing feeling. It's just unbelievable. I loved it.